Shalom, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Wachahodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Sincere shalom to you, Akim, that we pushing this word around the globe in faith and in truth with sincerity. So, as always, I start by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The true Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, West Africans, predominantly. However, you're going to have Israelites from all nations because Israel has been scattered amongst all nations throughout our various captivities. So therefore, we're going to look like all peoples because it's not about what you look like on the surface. It's about who your seed line goes back to because your nationality is determined by who your forefathers were. And if your forefather was the man in the Bible named Jacob, who was then named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you look like. So in this little lesson, I want to go into this article I was just reading from the Evening Standard. It says, Lisa Nandy and Piers Morgan in heated Good Morning Britain row over transgender rights in professional sport. So there's a little video clip here. So I'm just going to play it, Lord willing, I don't get a strike. I shouldn't do, but let's just play it.
This is a simple issue that doesn't require some careful thought in order to protect two groups of people who frankly deserve better than this basic
what they need
debate.
actually is for people in leadership positions to be honest and to make proper decisions.
Yes, and that's what I'm doing.
What they don't want is that anyone who's asked a question then says, stop attacking me.
We need far less heat, far more light, and you've just shown exactly why over the last few minutes.
Wow. Is that what you really think?
Yes, that is exactly
Do you really think viewers watching this think I've been attacking transgender people?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I bet you not one of them thinks that.
You said it was grotesque.
I said it's grotesquely unfair to women if transgender athletes born to male biological bodies with superior strength and power are able to compete against them in female competition as, say, weightlifters or boxers.
But that's why you need some proper rules around
Why can't you just give me a straight answer and agree that's unfair?
No, okay. I said you need rules. All right. It's unfair not to have
You
rules.
want a consultation about it. I think that is your answer. And Lisa Nandy, I'm afraid we have to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed.
Not attacking anyone, Lisa. Just after some straightforward answers.
Oh, come on. Not what you're doing.
Okay.
Nobody watching this program. You will now get headlines. You will now get headlines that I'm sure you wanted, which is Piers Morgan attacks transgender people, and is completely untrue.
Well, then
I've always supported
then
transgender
perhaps you might apologise.
For what?
For the way in which you've just conducted this debate, when there are people in this
You want me to
country
apologise
who are
for asking somebody who wants to be the Labour leader? You want me to apologise for asking straight questions?
I want you to apologise for the way in which you
Lisa, I would just like to, Lisa, I would like to point out that last week we spoke to a transgender woman who argued exactly the same argument as Piers.
But having a debate about how you protect two groups of people in this country is one thing. Pitting them against one another is just not good.
You accuse me of attacking transgender.
You're a national broadcaster with an enormous platform.
Yeah, and you want to be Labour leader.
Okay, we have to leave it there.
For you to demand an apology from me for asking straightforward questions is ridiculous.
You just said that you're upset about the fact that you'll get headlines saying you're attacking transgender rights.
I'm saying...
In which case, apologise.
I'm saying it's very easy for people like you to say you're attacking transgender people. I'm not.
It's not.
Everyone who's watched this exchange knows I've not said anything derogatory about transgender people.
Okay. You wanted to self-identify as a penguin.
Yeah, and by the way, Ofcom ruled in my favour when I did that because I had a transgender person with us who agreed with me that once you say anyone can self-identify as anything,
I feel like this...
That way madness
I
lies.
feel like...
See, this is folly set in great dignity, man. With all that's going on in the world, all they want to talk about is this stupid shit. So let's just read this article.
If you're a member of the royal family, you get acres of press coverage. I would say 70%.
Stupid autoplay. So it says, Piers Morgan and Lisa Nandy clashed on TV today in a heated discussion over transgender rights, with the Labour leadership contender accusing the presenter of having a nonsense argument. So this deadhead woman here is supposedly a Labour leadership contender. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Appearing on Good Morning Britain on Tuesday, the Wigan MP became embroiled in a long-heated row with Morgan that centred on transgender athletes competed in professional sport. The presenter questioned Miss Nandy on whether she thought that people who were born as males and identified as female should be allowed to compete in women's sports. Miss Nandy responded by saying Morgan had oversimplified the argument and a sporting commission was needed to properly set the parameters around the issue. But Morgan said that With only 3 months to the Olympics in Tokyo, there would not be enough time to form a commission. The International Olympics Committee said it will wait until after the 2020 Games to publish a new guidelines on transgender athletes that are meant to protect inclusivity and safety and fairness in sport. The pair argued for around 10 minutes, with Morgan arguing that allowing athletes born as male to compete in the opposite sex's sports encroached on women's rights. He asked Miss Nandy whether she thought it would be fair to let someone like Usain Bolt or Floyd Mayweather to identify as female, undergo a year of testosterone treatment, and then compete in women's competitions. Miss Nandy responded, "It's simply nonsense. It's a straw man argument," which is bullshit, man. She continued, "Let's take the heat out of it and let's have a sensible, measured debate on where the parameters are." I'll tell you where the parameters are. Fuck this bullshit, man. Deuteronomy 20:25. What does this say? It says, "The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh thy power." Point blank period, man. So it says, she added, "The idea that you want to pit one group of people against the other, I think this is not good enough. It does have a real impact on people. I'm worried about what you are doing to some of the most marginalised people in the country." Morgan also asked Miss Nandy whether she agreed with Labour MP Dawn Butler's comments on the programme last month when she said a child is born without sex. Miss Nandy responded, "There are babies that were assigned a gender at birth and later chose what gender they identified with as they grew up." She added that Morgan was being trivial after he asked what would happen if he wanted to identify as a two-spirit penguin. These fucking Edomites, man. See, as you can see, these guys are clearly Edomites. If you look at the guy on the right, what colour is his shirt? White. What colour is the screen? White. What colour is his skin? Red. Because he's an Edomite. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Edomites are you so-called white people. You know, predominantly you Europeans. Now, just as I said in the opening of this lesson, you're going to get Edomites that actually look like so-called Negroes because they've got dark skin. But if their seed line goes back to the man in the Bible named Esau, who was Jacob's brother, then they are Edomites, no matter what they look like. So let's continue. It says, "You don't seem to understand that for people coming to terms with their own gender is actually much more complicated by debates like this," she said. Miss Nandy was also questioned by Morgan and Susanna Reid on a coronavirus outbreak and why she had come onto the show with the symptoms of a cold. She insisted that she was coronavirus-free, but instead had Labour leadership-itis. "I'm all right. I'm surviving. If you want to self-isolate me, I'll probably take it," she said. Holding up the front page of the Daily Mail with the headline, "Stay at home if you have a cold," Morgan said, "Instead, you're coming here to potentially infect us." Miss Nandy responded by saying that their advice was not yet official, and when it does become real, we need to have measures in place to make sure we can self-isolate. So that's the end of the article, man. Ain't nothing more to say in this bullshit, man. With all that's going on in the world, they want to have stupid-ass debates like this on TV. This is Deuteronomy 22:5. It says, "The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto Yahweh thy power." So with that being said, giving all praise and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chachadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone of the wall, and shalom to all you elect Arkim that are out there, pushing this word in faith, in truth, and in sincerity. Until the next time, I say shalom.